Wayne, and Brenda Peoples, if I see Brenda, but Brenda should be here. What we're going to do is get into the Q&A part. You've got your surveys. Feel free to go ahead and start filling those out while you have them. But I really want people to get involved in what Anthony and Nick and Brenda are doing. Again, they're going to kind of lead you with some questions, but we want you to be open, honest, and candid. Now, this is not the opportunity to slam anybody because that's not going to be productive. We want productive conversation. And as Anthony comes up, I just want to say a real quick thank you to Delano Clowney, Deshaun Jordan, Steve Clark, and Paul Moore, who actually work at this facility. They've been wonderful about helping us get the chairs set up, get the lights off and on. Good evening. Is there anyone that needs a survey? We can raise our hand. Again, I'm Anthony Smith. I'm just going to lead off with the Q&A portion of this. And what we want to do in this portion of the question and answer is to give residents an opportunity to voice, but also to write down your thoughts and your reflections as we ask this question, because I don't believe that every last single person in here is going to get a chance to say anything in front of everybody. But so if you could, on the back of your survey, on the blank sheet, on the back, there's 3 questions that we're going to ask you this evening. Okay? There are 3 questions that we're going to ask you this evening. So in the back of your survey, if you don't get a chance to stand up and speak, put number 1 and put your answer. Put number 2, when question 2 comes up, and put your answer. When question 3 comes up, put your answer to question 3 if you don't get a chance to speak. And let me explain why we're asking these particular questions. As our Brother Kenny said at the beginning, we're in the discovery phase here. We want to hear your thoughts so that we can come back later and create focus areas that we all can work on together as a community. And so today it's so important that you drop your survey off at the end of this gathering. Okay? First up, we actually are going to have Ms. Brenda Peoples. She's going to come up and ask question 1. Everybody got pencils? Everybody got survey? Everybody should have pencils when they walk in. Anybody else need a survey?
Good afternoon. It's great to see the turnout tonight. I hope that we have all been inspired by what we see tonight. But to us, this is probably the most important part of our program because we want your input. Are we all ready? My question is, when you think of the Salisbury and West End communities, what potential places, people, or images represent these communities to you? Can you repeat the question? Okay. When you think of Salisbury and West End communities, what particular places, people, or images represent these communities to you? Just just raise your hand.
Just speak right there, bro.
My name is Floyd Kirk, and I've worked, played, lived on the west side for over 40 years. And the reason why I'm here tonight is because the west side of Salisbury is a unique community. This community has a park, a recreation center, and a gym. But none of these facilities are available to white people.
Sure, bro. Amen. Amen. I just want to interject real quick. I want to hear your mind. We really do. Well, my sister asked a question, and there's a lot of other people that want to answer that question. But we're actually going to get to that question, actually, when we actually describe your experience. Did you have anything more? Did you want to address the question directly that she asked? You do? Remember what the question was?
Well, what are the facilities that come with the design? See, you look at recreation center. When I was 64 years old, and I started working in Parks and Rec in 1971. And Little Recreation Center has always been a hood of this community. And over the years, I've seen this, kind of dissolve. And I'd like to see Little Recreation Center, become the hood of this community. Because in those times, it was programs that they had senior citizens, they had all types of youth programs, none of that existed. So I'd like to see that started.
Amen.
Really repeat the question. Can you give an example of what the type of action you're looking for that will help around our people?
Well, the question again is, when you think about Salisbury community, what particular places or people or images represent this community to you?
Is it the teachers?
It could be leadership, it could be an event that you've gone to, it could be a church or an institution, it could be anything from the past. It could be a leader, a particular leader that represents the community best to you.
Well, my image was the representation in the education system when I was growing up in Lincoln School. The teachers were involved, they were concerned, they made sure that they went to your house and the parents were working. That was a nurturing and there was a village environment in the city of Salisbury. That's gone away, and when you look at what we took away because we didn't want to raise our children like we were, that's why we have the image and problem we have about children.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Page. Anyone else?
When I think about the West Side, one of the first things that comes to my mind is Stone College, because the generation kind of, I went there, my mother went there, and the cultural activities, the education that we received there, the instructors here, that's what comes to my mind when I think about the West Side, is the education aspect.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm a long-time resident of the West Side community, and just as you said about Livingstone, I can remember as a very, very young child, spending every holiday at Livingstone, going to Livingstone every day. It was like, if it wasn't Livingstone, it was Little Recreation Center. And every child on this west side of town had somewhere to go and spend their time. And that's just non-existent now. If you're not in special clubs, they have a special clique or with a special group, you can't be a part of Little Recreation Center, or Hall's Gym, or the recreation department, if you don't have the money. You can't just go on Livingstone campus, which I understand for security reasons. However, it was a lot of things that the students and the teachers at Livingstone College did for the community, for the little not for teenagers, but for little children.
Like what?
And they did things like Halloween parties, Easter hunts, everything other than just one book festival a year. You know, we went to Livingstone and watched the cheerleaders practice, and they would come out to our communities and talk to us, the football players. We knew football players. They would just come out to the community and get children and take them to the game. It's going to be my, it's going to be my buddy or whatever. And it didn't have to be so regimented, but they took care of us. Calvin Silver was like the man. He was Livingstone, and me being on that campus all the time, I lived 4 blocks from Livingstone. I was there all the time, and it made me want to go to college. Several of my family members are Livingstone graduates. Livingstone taught me how to be who I am, and I'm very proud of who I am. I think about all the wonderful teachers that I had when I was there, and those that was there before I ever got there. So I really think we need to, continue to have that relationship and dialogue with the college and the generation department.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My next question was, I didn't about what Jill just said. I was a part of a Livingstone people. And what it was, the Lady Top 5 group came out and took all the young men, and we went there on Saturday, we had camps and did things, and we marched in the parade. Livingstone, a Lady Top 5 group did things for us. And then Miller Recreation Center, I came here. I actually worked for this center. Because of what I learned as a kid, I played in the playground. There was some activities here. I wanted to work for the city of Salisbury. I did work for the city of Salisbury. Then I came back when I was an adult, and I had a boys club in this center. And I took those same guys, several of them went off to college, went to Livingstone, East Carolina, came out and graduated, and because of me working here, they came and worked here. And so we were building a program, but the city finds a way to get rid of folks.
Get a chance to speak tonight, please write down your answers on the back of the survey. We're moving to question 2.
All right, thanks everybody for coming again. As Kenny spoke to earlier, this is a collaboration throughout the community with the 2 West End groups as well as the chamber. So my question is a collaboration question. What do you think would be an effective process for getting people across the communities talking and working together on behalf of the city and the surrounding areas? I'll repeat the question again. What do you think would be an effective process for getting people across the different communities talking and working together on behalf of the city and the surrounding areas? Did you guys in the back said open forums like this where people can stand up and say how they really feel and have their voices heard? Yes, ma'am.
I'm from the dead community across the tracks, and I appreciate y'all doing this because we're going to form our dead community across the tracks. So I agree with the lady who said before. but there's still a lot of people who are not moving. And those people want to be here, and we have to go to where they are. So at some point, we have to find a way to get to where the other people are. Because as much as everybody in here matters, sometimes we're preaching to the choir.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to follow up on that. Please, you can hear.
Oh, okay. Basically, forgive me if I'm forgetting things. We're preaching to the choir, pretty much the same people coming out to events like this. So we have to go to where everybody else is. So what I would like to add on to that is, it is our responsibility to take this back to our different organizations that we serve in, our different cliques, groups, as the young lady alluded to earlier, take it back to our neighborhoods and create a movement in your own neighborhood and do something. Like the gentleman spoke to earlier. Those gangs start off in the neighborhood with just a group of kids. And if you want to pay any attention, guess what somebody else is? So somebody from another neighborhood is going to come recruit them to be a part of their gang. So we just need to take this back to our own communities, our own neighborhoods, and this right here is just a little start, just a little kickstart to get some things going, some juices flowing. You can see people who may have the same passion as you in different situations, and you can connect with them afterwards or through Facebook. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I just wanted to elaborate on what Kay was saying, and also our dynamic speaker. I think these community forums are terrific, but his point was so well made that we don't have enough people under 25, and it would be great. I remember when Susan Klutz was mayor, and we had several of these gang meetings. I think it was the Civic Center. But if there was a way to have a concerted effort to get the churches to haul in these young people, have us go door to door and haul them in. We need the young people. Those are the ones that we really need to listen to and to engage in.
We need to have parents, they make all the churches call, the parents should call them in.
Anyone else before we go on to question 3? All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your patience. I'm going to read the last question. And Brother Kenny Hart is actually going to come up and wrap this up at the end after this. Because it's actually a process we're going to go through together. When we come back and we reconvene in several weeks to talk about what you guys put on that survey and how you respond to these questions. And we'll be captured here tonight in your responses to the questions out loud in public here. Here's the last question. I need everyone in the room to close their eyes. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine your community as you most want it to be a generation from now. See yourself walking the streets, or see yourself driving down the main roads, hanging out your favorite spot. And write this down. What is it like? What is it like? What do you see? Please write this down. What do you see? What do you hear? Anybody want to stand up and ask that? What is it like?
I close my eyes, I see in the 60s here in Salisbury. I was listening to the other time I came in when, they weren't afraid in the streets and you could go from house to house and if you did something, you got a whooping too, you got home. And your neighbors just bumped up reaching out and taking care of his own. And that's what we had there. You know, 1960 in Salisbury, we were playing in each other's yards. Livingstone didn't have a garden. We played football over there all the time. To Mr. Duncan put the garden over there. And but all the things that we did, and day and night, didn't matter. We said we was on the corner, singing doo-wop, you know, and we weren't afraid. It was hard to be out there time of night. So that's what I see when I close my eyes, and that's what I would envision. I like to see sometimes in that sort of thing. Like it's old school.
Amen. All right. Anyone else want to stand up? Please write down. You may not get a chance to speak, but please write this. This is so important. Somebody else? What do you see a generation from now? Yes, sir.
I grew up on a dead-end street in Charlotte. It was a low-income area, but it was a good area. We had one lady that taught us Bible. We played football and baseball right in the street. Everybody cared for everybody. There was one lady that moved on our street, Miss Laverne, and she kept having children without any daddy. And the lady, so she was a bad influence on me on the kids. And she got the gift of that neighborhood here. It was a good neighborhood, and the children in this neighborhood have moved out and gotten good jobs and done so much, but the neighborhood is still here. And you got these vacant houses and everything where the drug people are moving in. And those houses got to be all filled up and cleaned up. And these kids, excuse me, I talk too much.
No, you're fine. Well, we're glad that you drove over to Charlotte to hang out with us. You really are. But we want to hear this normal person that's from this place. What do you see? What do you hear when you close your eyes and you thought about a generation from now? I want to ask this last question. What did you accomplish that they talked about? What did you accomplish that they talked about a generation from now? Write that down. A generation from now, imagine 30, 40 years from now, what will they say you accomplished? Yes. I'm sorry. It looks better on paper. But yes, ma'am. 30, 40 years from now, what would you like for them to say that you accomplished? And please write that down. Anybody want to stand up? We good? All right, let's go. Sister back here.
Okay, to kind of address your question and kind of back all this up to this point. The generation from now, I would want what we would have accomplished would be for the people in this room to be, for lack of whether they put this, the people that need to be in this room. Kind of like the lady said, we're preaching to the choir, so to speak, right now. So there's a way that we can get to the people that need to be reached. Those kids that don't have a home, don't have a parent, don't have someone, that's caring for them and trying to make sure they're okay. I would like to see that we have reached those people. We kind of turned around this whole situation. And a lot of the madness is going on right now that has brought us to this point. I would like to hope that we have accomplished what we came here today to do. Another thing, just kind of like with that said, the community that I would envision or like to see would be kind of like this gentleman said, the old school. It does take a village. I feel like we need to get back to being a village. I would like to see the community where parents are accountable. The community looks out for each other. We have activities and stuff like that. These children participated in. I remember as a kid, Ms. Pee-wee, Ms. Kerr here at the recreation center, and you have to have people in place because for a lot of people, Mr. Kerr is not just the guy that runs the recreation center. the communities, you know, the families, the schools, the police department. I mean, everybody's got to just work together collectively to accomplish what it is that we're trying to accomplish. So, in a nutshell, that is what I hope that we will have accomplished, and that is the development of speed, and I just hope that we will continue to try to work together towards that.
Anybody else? Okay, well, we are sticklers for time, and we've got about 10 minutes, so I want to make sure that we start on time and we get out on time as well. So I just want to wrap this up and kind of let you know what the next steps, but I have a couple of little observations that I wanted to share as well. First of all, I really want to thank Shirley McLaughlin and Dee Dee Wright, Fanny Butler, and just the members of the West End Community Organization, the West End Pride Organization, for just forming an alliance and allowing us to come in and work with the community. I lived here for, in the West End, probably 40 years of my life, and I have memories. I played out on this playground right here in the back. I'm scared my mom was here, I'm scared to say this, but I hopped trains up the White Packet and we hopped it back right down the hill. But I have some great memories, and like so many people say, I look around this room and I see the faces who raised me. My parents raised me, but I see Mr. Evans, I see Mr. Hope, I see all of these people that I know if I got out of line, I would get in his house and get in my house. So I want to see this community go back to the way it was. So that's the reason that we are here. We're not here to get rid of guns. We're not here to get rid of. When I heard Pastor Bates talk to me about his last conversation with Marquise before he was killed, and I'm not too masculine or too man to say, I sat at my computer and cried that morning. And I put pen to paper, and I talked to Pastor Bates, I called my brother Chris Sifford, I called all of my brothers, and I called him my brother, and we had no answers. So what we decided in talking to Dee Dee and Shirley, it's got to be about something deeper than just getting rid of a gun. It's got to be about bringing pride back to this community. We got to give these kids some hope, and we got to find that hope. And as my friend Dr. Williams said, hope is not a strategy, but it's all we got right now. And so that's why this is so important tonight. What you put on that survey is what we're going to take back, and we're going to compile and analyze all of that information, and we're going to come up with a plan. Now, what we're trying to do is come up with a community plan. Not a plan for the West End, not a plan for the East End, not a plan for East Vincent. We're coming up with a plan. Because crime has no eyes. Violence has no eyes. It can't detect if I'm black, I'm white, I'm a man, or a woman. But what we come up with, we need to be in one cohesive, unified spirit. So if you go back to your community, your church, your social group, your political group, we're all working on the same thing. We all got one vision. And that's what I am really hoping that comes out of this tonight, that we kind of drop down these barriers, quit talking at each other, start talking to people who don't look like us, think like us, and act like us. We got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable with these conversations that we need to have. And the last thing that I'm going to say is, I don't want anybody else to call me a leader. I'm not a leader. Everybody in here is a leader. If you sit back thinking Malcolm, Martin, Gandhi, or whoever is coming back, you're going to be real listening. So what we need to do is everybody needs to find it within yourself to say, I'm a leader. Okay, I can only control what's in my house, my neighborhood, and when I get out with the night crawlers and wherever else I go, then I'm a leader. But I'm not waiting for somebody to come and tell me when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when to wake up, when I need to march down the street. I don't need that no more. So everybody in here, what I want you to take is be a leader in your own right. The surveys, when you go out, if you want to put those on the table. And then the last thing, I really appreciate the people in the chamber that I work with, Brenda Peoples, Chris Silver, Nick Means, Anthony, Chris Sharp is somewhere around here too. I really appreciate them because, one, they put up with me. So that's all I can say. But I really appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you so much. We're going to reconvene all of this data, and as one of my friends said right here, this is not going to be the last time we do this. We want to continually come back at the 90-day mark, at the 6-month mark, and at the 1-year mark. Because Chris has said this several times before. We cannot use 1960s, 1950 strategies to solve 2014 problems. So if we have not made